misconduct over nothing leads me to end up in the penitentiary system murdered. I am now experiencing a threat against my life for reasons that have to do with patriarchal, for lack of a better word, preservation. These insecure men at every level of government lead with victimhood in mind. They lead with misogyny in mind. They think being educated is a misogynist, anti-capitalist act. You can't engage with people that are that fucking dumb. And the fact that we as any civilized nation, citizens of a civilized nation, have handed authority to professional victims or psychopaths who are practicing professional victimhood is batshit insane. My willingness to die for what I believe in is immediately something that I want to start talking about next. I'm willing to die for what I believe in. My psychotherapist has been incredible to me. My Ashtanga practice has been extremely nurturing to me. I cannot confront a psychopath in good conscience without screaming at them. It's only genetically right. These are weak men who don't have feelings. They're subhuman in nature. It's not real. It's not worth it. There's nothing worth dying for more than confronting a psychopath. These cameras, these little devices with their body cameras on them are no longer theoretically important. If I was literally assaulted on the grounds to capture video evidence for the benefit of developing artificial intelligence technology that has positive implications for private industry sectors internationally, we have entered into techno-psychopathy. This is a postmodern doesn't deal specifically with what I'm speaking to. The level of victimhood among the members of the public to hand over their human sensibilities is a violent terrorist act against me, because what it's leading to is literally the destruction of the nation state, which practically affects me, given that at the end of the day, I am not a psychopath. I go out of my way to relieve myself of any trauma I have experienced under the patriarchy as my personal as the baseline, as the normal experience I have in my life when not doing anything. The fact that I was called poor for taking public transit means that transit officers, the police, the demi associations acknowledge that there are such things as lesser humans within the municipal territory that allows them to justify violence on the grounds of these false categories that they as psychopaths have created. Our public transit system is notoriously extremely dangerous, and now I won't shut the fuck up about how it's actually also the police and their demi associates that are the reason for that. When the police and their associates feel justified in violating Edmontonians for taking such things as public transit or being in particular neighborhoods, we have ended up in a psychopathic municipality, which is a new idea that I'm speaking to right now. It has the bureaucracy, which is what I'm fighting against as a strategy to reform the legal system, and so it's applicable for me to speak about it here, has led them to create false, categorically significant boundaries that allows them to practice different types of psychopathy to preserve the integrity of their organization, which is a really big problem, because literally, whether or not, like, I'm not to take the train for I'm not to take the ETS for 3 months, and when I return, I am now actively aware of the fact that I am being targeted as a useful target for these psychopaths, on the grounds that literally taking public transit has me become subhuman, which justifies the technological development, the status hunting within the private organization of the municipal government, where I'm just going to look if I'm still recording. Wow, it's only been 21 minutes. The status hunting, I'm literally, my life is a project for psychopaths to status hunt on completely bullshit grounds, designed for private sector growth. Somebody has to speak up about this, and it's going to be someone like me, because I have nothing to lose. I don't care about being in the grips of psychopaths. And how did I get here? It's because of my great psychologist. It's because of my Ashtanga practice. What these hair salons do now, I speak about these hair salons as if they're business projects, but actually they're the closest thing I have to holy sites. I was almost having a religious experience at the yoga studio, because at the yoga studio today, because yesterday I was confronted by and victimized by psychopaths, and then I returned to a really deep place inside of me to repair trauma that of a psychopath, like, and its institution. And so on, like, religious grounds, however not religious, I had done what religion gives to weak men, except I'm a strong man. I practice a victimhood, a victimless ideology of overcoming, outgrowing your trauma through Ashtanga. It's not a question anymore of spiritual or religious or a spiritual development. It's literally a self-preservation act against the very real world experience of psychopathy. And when you go to a yoga studio, they talk constantly about the potential for enlightenment. These are all outside of the realm of the physical world. What my Ashtanga practice has done for me, and what the physical space of the Ashtanga studio has done for me, is give me a responsive environment to have a self-dialogue, or a dialogue on common ground, about the very practical, literal, physical experience of engaging with psychopaths, which could be a religious experience. It could literally be I could invent the idea that on religious grounds, I am required to confront psychopaths. It's literally the moral and ethical right thing to do when you don't practice victimhood. And with that in mind, Gandhi is someone I think of. His non-violent protest is very impressive. It's legendary. I want to practice violence. You cannot put a psychopath in the ground without practicing violence. A victim-based type of violence is that of the patriarchy. A victimless take on violence is one of internal accountability, and then confrontation with the force of predation. The presence itself of psychopathy is the violence I am fighting, not the literal assault of Indians or the blacks or the Chinese, as these guys categorically use as a tactic to commit violence. And so what am I thinking? Like, I need to okay, so I'm going to start hosting a tennis conditioning program at the Shala. And the point of it is to literally be a common ground for me to engage with the public on these ideas to build this hair salon. And that I talk about the hair salon as either a hair salon or a yoga studio is only to entertain you. The premise of it as an institution is that it's a private legal research lab, and a part of that is to run a tennis conditioning program. Tennis to me represents the class-based war strategy of the upper classes to promote violence onto the poor. Tennis is a elite sport in the eyes of poor people and can be used strategically to create class division or class awareness about class awareness and class consciousness, so that these poor, these intellectually homeless, the cops, are put on notice. They don't belong in the experience of upper class leisure, because their role within the upper class is to be the pigs that are taken to slaughter. And so they're not to participate on equal terms with the wealthy tennis players. And this is, of course, it's an intellectual take on fighting psychopathy, of course. It's just another way to break them down. You can't get into the head of a psychopath. You can't get into the institution of a psychopathic institution. You can only talk about it and make the public aware on the subject. And tennis is an Olympic sport. It's very possible for me to breed the next generation of tennis Olympians, and then along the way, with all of that credibility, be screaming at the Edmonton police, be screaming to the extent necessary at the municipal government. There are psychopaths in the city. We need to get rid of them. 6 feet under is not good enough. They need to be institutionalized with a public awareness campaign and then euthanized on the way of promoting a preventative healthcare system, so that psychopathy at its root, which is a system designed to destroy human civilization, is permanently eradicated in the prairies. God, I'll keep this, I'll make this 30 minutes. I'm going to be murdered in prison. My case isn't going to be heard regardless of if there are hearings exactly on the subject matter. To be able to understand exactly where I'm coming from, you have to practice a victimless ideology and methodology. You have to be seeing a psychologist. You need to be practicing Ashtanga. You need to engage yourself with the world. It cannot be something that is handed to you through the idea of intellectualizing. You have to be able yourself stand on the highest possible grounds without any help. When you see these police officers, they are practicing identity politics. Identity politics is the root of victimhood. especially with the post-industrial, postmodern, internet age existing. It's extremely straightforward when you're not retarded.